Hey parents, it's your girl Sharita from Behavior and I'm the Behavior and Learning Strategist coming at you from the Morgan Unlimited Growth Institute, where you can find solutions for your child behavior and learning challenges. Today, we're going to talk about you trying to stop your child's behavior. You are working so hard overtime trying to stop their behavior, and nothing is changing, right? Y'all both caught up in that behavior cycle, okay? So instead of trying to stop their behavior, give them ownership. Okay? You have to stop yourself, first of all. I'm a mom, so I've been there. And even I catch myself doing it, nowadays. You have to stop yourself from trying to always stop their behavior. Instead, you want to give them ownership. How do you do this? Let's say your child is sitting at the table, right? And they're supposed to be doing their homework, and they're not doing their homework, and they are getting up out of their seat. They're dropping their pencil. They're moving around constantly. They're asking for things. They're putting their head down. They're complaining. All the things that kids do when they're trying to do their homework. What are you doing? Usually, you are redirecting them over and over again. You're telling them to sit still, pay attention, stop moving, do your work. You're doing this over and over again. And this is the dance that y'all do every single day. Okay? All right. So, first, you got to stop that dance. When your child, it's time for them to sit down and do their homework, you have to lay down the rules and you have to lay down your expectations. Do you expect your child to sit down properly? Then tell them. Do you respect your child to get right to work and do what they're supposed to do? Then tell them. Okay? Do you expect your child to keep their pencils on the table? I say that to my students. Okay, I'm a tutor and coach, and I'm virtual. I'm a virtual tutor and coach, and my students know to keep their pencils on the table. There's no dropping the pencil every 5 seconds. Okay, that's just a distraction. All right. Whatever your expectation is, you have to say it. But then, what if you set your expectation and they decide, they know what they're supposed to do, but they decide to still play? Now listen, kids will do this. All right? They will look you dead in your face and decide that they're going to play around and keep doing things so that you can keep having to stop what you're doing and redirect them over and over. They're ready to pull you in. And it depends on how you respond, whether they're going to be successful or not. Okay? They're trying to pull you in, and you can't even get what you're doing done. You can't even finish dishes. You can't even cook dinner because you have to constantly be talking. Listen, stop all that. And then ask them. So you have to ask your child why. So why are you not sitting properly? What's your reason for that? Right? What's going on? You know how to sit properly. So why are you choosing to not sit properly? You have to ask them straight up. When you ask them, now they are accountable. You have been taking the stress off of yourself, the responsibility off of yourself, and you put it on them. Ask them straight up. What's going on? Why are you not sitting? I do that all the time. I ask them why. I don't assume it's because they can't sit. It's because they're tired. It's because, they have trouble sitting still. They're distracted. I don't do all of that. I ask them straight up because I want to activate their own thinking. I want them to be aware of what they're doing, right? So this example of us actually connecting with kids and talking to them in the moment instead of just analyzing things from back here and making assumptions, okay? Because kids will let you know. Okay, I've been doing this for years. They will let you know. What's going on? Why are you not sitting? Right? And then they will stop for a second, stop all that moving for a second, just to think and answer you, right? Or what's going on? You're not doing your work. Why are you not doing your work? Why have you not picked up the pencil and why are you not writing your name down? What's going on? Right? So you ask them for a second. You ask them, right? Once you hold their attention and you ask them, and then you're waiting for their response, okay? And if they're able in the moment, right? Because I train my students to be able to express themselves and to say actually what's going on. They might be like, I don't feel like doing the work today, or before class I was playing a game and I didn't want to get off the game to come to class. They will tell you this is missing, like this is missing, because we jump to conclusions real quick without actually giving them opportunity to say what's actually going on. That doesn't make it right, but that's better than acting out, not doing what they're supposed to do. Okay, because kids communicate with behavior. All right, so you ask them, and then once you ask them and they express what's actually going on, so then you have to get them to make a choice. So okay, so I understand that you was playing the game, you didn't want to have to stop playing the game to come do your homework. You didn't want to have to uh, you know, stop playing to come and do your homework, right? Or you don't want to sit down and do your homework, or homework is difficult for you right now, right? Um, I understand that, and we're working on it. Like this difficult thing, we're working on your reading so that you can easily, get your homework done on your own, right? So whatever conversation you have after that, you have to come to this point. You have to say, okay, so what are you going to do? Are you going to continue to get out of your seat? How long are you going to take to actually do your work? How long do you think you need to finish your work? Right? You have to ask them this so that they can think and answer. Right? How long you want to keep this up? That's another thing I say. When kids they know what they're supposed to do, but they are coming to class and they've been to like 3 classes where they've been playing around. Right? I ask them, because I know that in their minds they have the same plan every time they come back. Every time they come back, they have the same plan. I'm going to move around in my chair. I'm going to drop my pencil. I'm going to not write and wait for Miss Sharita to tell me to get started on my work, which my students know that's their responsibility. I'm going to wait for her to tell me, and then I'm going to play around in the camera so that when she look at me again, she have to tell me to stop and do all this stuff. All this, and I'm not going to do all that because their behavior is what their responsibility. So when I know that students have a plan to come to class every single day and do that over and over, and that's what they got going on. They have made that decision. Then what I ask is, how long do you want to keep this up? A week, 2 weeks, a month, 2 months? How long do you want to keep this up? You told me you wanted to improve reading, right? You wanted to get better at reading. You told me that, right? So is this helping you or is this holding you back? Is this slowing you down? Right? Okay, so what do you want to do? You want to keep doing this every week and keep slowing it down? Or do you want to stop doing this and then get to read? But how long? Whatever you decide, and this is what really trips them up. Whatever you decide is fine with me. If you decide to do this for 3 months, then go ahead and do it for 3 months. But I'm not going to teach you when you come to class and you're doing this because I can't do both at the same time. You got to come give me 100%, just like I come give you 100%. So what's going to happen is, this is where, it gets worse. It gets tougher for them. What's going to happen is, if you come to class and you decide to not do what you're supposed to do, then I'll just let mom know that I need to see you for an extra session on this day where you're going to write about it. Okay? So I won't say anything during class. I'll just teach the class. Then at the end of class, I'll text your mom and I'll let her know that I'm going to need to see you on Saturday. You're going to have to come and I need you to write what the problem was. Sometimes I'll have a Saturday or I'll have them start writing right then and there during the class, and then I'll just continue teaching the class. And this is what trips us up, parents and even teachers, is because we work so hard at trying to manage one child's behavior that we let it slow down and stop everything else. No, you have to keep going with whatever you was doing before. If you was cooking, get back to it. Leave them there so they could think, right? If you was cooking, let them get back to it. If you was doing laundry, get back to it. If you was watching the show, get back to it. Teachers, you teach in the class, you teach the rest of the students, how to. Uh, this is what I did when I was a teacher in the classroom. I was a special education teacher. I taught my class what negative attention-seeking behavior was, and I taught them exactly what to do when one of their fellow classmates started, acting out and trying to disrupt the class. So they knew exactly what to do, so that when I uh, addressed the behavior, the rest of the students wasn't distracted by it, and they wasn't feeding into it. You understand what I'm saying? So I taught the rest of the class what to do. So that made it easy for me to pause the class for a minute, address this behavior with my student, my champion, he's a champion or she's a champion. She just acting like she don't know it right now. You know what I mean? Address them and then get right back to teaching my class and not break the flow. You have to do that. You have to, for kids who come to class and for whatever reason they decide that they're going to disrupt the class or not listen and not do what they're supposed to do. For your kids at home who decide that they're not going to listen, not do what they're supposed to do, so that everything stops and now there's the back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You have to master giving them ownership and then return back to regular life. Give them ownership, return back to regular life. You're making a choice to not do your work. Okay, I'll get back to you. I need you to write why you're making that choice to not complete your work today. I need at least 6 sentences. That's how I flow. I have a requirement. For my beginners elementary students who are learning how to write, it's 5 sentences. For my students who are in the advanced elementary group who know how to write and they be busting it down, honey, it takes at least 6 sentences. When they do writing regularly, they have that requirement. So I say I need 6 sentences. I did this actually yesterday when I was teaching. One of my students was, um, like I said, trying to draw attention, not listening, not doing what they're supposed to do. The class didn't suffer my teaching. It was a really good class. We covered a lot. We did a great job. When I come to you, if you're not ready, I'm going to move on to the next student, and we're going to keep the flow going. But I need you to write 6 sentences about why you're not doing your best today. And then I just keep going. And then when they finish writing, they want, because they have to read it out loud, now they have to wait. It's okay to make our kids wait. It's okay. We feel like adults, teachers, parents feel like you have to manage them. So making them wait is not an option for you, because if they have to wait, they might try to disrupt more. They try to get attention and focus off, and you're trying to manage the rest of the class. No, they can wait. And I'm gonna call on you when I get ready. I'm teaching the rest of the class, but I'm only gonna call on you if you're sitting properly and you're quiet and you look like you're done. Teach the rest of the class and then come back. And this is processing, right? So when I come back, I'll ask my champion to read aloud what's going on, and if I need them to explain further, or if I have another question, I will ask them. If they try to tell me, I say, no, write it down. See that the interaction is now minimized, and it's for a reason, because they need to take ownership. They need to think themselves. They need to problem solve. This is conflict resolution for them as well. So it's not now I get the teachers, or I get my mom's total attention, and I get to go back and forth. She has to stop everything to work this through. No, I have to sit and now think about my own choices. Think about what I'm supposed to be doing and why I'm making the choice, what I should have been doing instead, how I'm going to fix the situation, right? What I want to do next class, how I'm going to make this better. They're going to do all of that themselves. The problem is you're trying to stop the behavior, so you're doing everything I just said for them. And then the next time you'll be doing it again And the next day you'll be doing it again, and the next day you'll be doing it again, next day you'll be doing it again. So instead of trying to stop, give them ownership, complete ownership. And then ask the question again. After they process everything, ask them again. How long you want to do this for? You want to do this 2 months, 3 months? I started getting outrageous with it because just to let them know that it's their choice and you can choose to do this every single class. I'm still going to teach the class. But I know that at one point you're going to want to focus back on your goal to improve your reading. And you're going to do a great job. And you're going to be so proud of yourself, and I'm going to be so proud of you. Today is not that day. I don't know when it's going to happen. I don't know if it's going to happen today. I don't know if it's going to happen next week. I don't know if it's going to happen next month. I don't know. But we'll just keep doing the same thing over and over until you get to the point where you're ready to change the game. Does it last 3 months or 4 months or 5 months? No, it doesn't. Some students take longer than others, but it's not for me to try to control. It's for that student to feel empowered to make better choices, right? So don't work to stop their behavior. That's their job. You just put the structure, you put the expectation and standard of structure in place. Don't abandon yourself or the other children or the other students to manage and solve this for your child. But create a structure which they can think, process, and grow and get back on track. That's the key. That's the key. Now let me know if y'all ever been caught up in that behavior cycle. You gotta talk about this. You gotta say the same thing over and over. Your child's looking you dead in your face, like, yeah, I'm gonna do this again and again and again. And yeah, I like it here, right? And also in the classroom, they're doing the same thing. It's worse than the parents. It's worse in the classroom. This is why we do this at home. Okay? This is why we do this at home. Here at the Morgan Unlimited Growth Institute, we improve our kids' behavior and learning from home so that they can go to class and be equipped for success. This is what we do here because the frustration and stress that you feel at home trying to get your champion to make better choices and move along and improve their reading, homework habits, everything that you're trying to do at home, that's one-on-one, honey. Which that could be tough, one-on-one, right? And then the rest of your kids. But in the classroom, it's worse. And what your child feels in the classroom is they have a lot more leeway. They have a lot more opportunities to play around and not follow the structure. And they're trying to get you to pay attention to them at home, so that, to the point where they're just causing disruption and distraction so they don't have to do their work or don't have to do the task. So they can get you to keep saying it over and over and over again. And that's y'all flow. They're trying to do the same thing in the classroom with the teacher. And the teacher has a lot of kids, multiple children. Your child wants that same thing. So we have to teach our children at home to function independently and take ownership of their own choices. And we can't, when we're doing that, it's for a reason. They need to move from here to here. And this behavior is slowing them down and getting in the way. And it's what they're using to stall and avoid moving forward. So when we actually remove the behavior and we stay consistent and we let them know at the end of the day, you're going to have to do what I told you to do, right? At the end of the day, no matter how much you try to get out of it, no matter how long you try to stall it, how long you try to do it, all this other stuff, it's still going to be there. You will have wasted your own time. It's important for them to learn this lesson. Because while you were sitting there refusing to do your work, you could have been chilling. You could have been playing. You could have been, whatever it was. If you choose to use your playtime or your chill time to sit at the table and take a long time to do what you need to do, go ahead. That's up to you. But this must happen so your child develops discipline. They get to their task right away. They focus on it. They pay attention. They sit properly. They complete their work. So that when they get in class, they're not doing the same thing. All right. So stop trying to stop your child's behavior. Instead, have them take ownership. Guide them through the process, but you have to step back. Moms, you gotta step back. You can't do it from here. That's too close. There's no room for thinking, taking accountability, taking ownership, making the right choice, thinking of the choice that they have to, being aware of their own behavior and their actions. Not, they know what they're doing, but being aware of the whole picture. There's no room. So step back, talk to them, ask them questions, move them along quickly, get back to what you're supposed to be doing. Let them sit, let them wait, let them think, let them figure it out, let them make the right choice. Or if it's the wrong choice, let them make the wrong choice until they are ready to make the right choice on their own. Okay? So, and then the behavior now, it doesn't really have a purpose. All right? Okay, if you're just joining, welcome. Um, I'm going to sum it up real quick. My name is Sharita Morgan. I was talking about how we need to uh, stop trying to stop our kids' behavior instead of take ownership. Okay. Now hashtag replay, because I broke down a lot of what I do with my students that will have them switch from being resistant every day. When they come to cause I run a tutoring coaching program. When they come in, they switch from being resistant to actually making a choice to move forward. Okay, so the key things is to instead of trying to stop their behavior and manage their behavior. Hello, if you're just joining. Instead of trying to stop and manage their behavior, give them ownership by asking them a question about their behavior in the moment. That instantly stops them, and they have to be accountable. Why are you not doing what I asked you to do? What's going on? Why are you choosing? You have to say choose. Why are you choosing to not do what I just told you to do? Right? And then you have to ask them, how long do you want to keep this behavior up? You gotta ask them that, and then start throwing out like times, like a few days, a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, 2 months. How long do you want to keep this up? And then when they answer, you can ask them why and have to process that out. And then you have to let them know the consequences of them dragging it out, their behavior. But then you have to give it to them. You got to say it. But if that's what you want to do, go ahead and do it. Right? You can do that for as long as you want to, as long as you need to. These are your consequences. You can do this every single time, right? And you gotta let them know that you're not going to burn out. You're not going to get tired of the structure that you put in place. It has to be routine, right? You're not going to get tired of the structure you put in place. This is your structure. If like say they're supposed to sit down and they're supposed to do work, independent study, homework, and then after that they get to play, right? So say you set up a structure like that. You want to every day you want to spend time not doing your work, then that's fine. If you spend 15 minutes sitting there refusing to do your work and playing around, then we just take 15 minutes off of your playtime later. And if you want to do this every day, do it every day. That's fine with me. If you take 30 minutes, we'll take 30 minutes off. Right? So that time is money, okay? Y'all feel me? Time is money. You have to take ownership of it. Stop doing it. Stop. Sit down. Pay attention. Stop. um, you broke a pencil point again today. All right. How long is it going to take you to go ahead and sharpen the pencil and get back on track? A few minutes? Okay, we could just take that off of your playtime later. Hey, time is money. Give it back to him. Give him ownership. You understand what I'm telling you? Do not stress. Ain't nobody stressing in here. I was talking to a parent a few days ago, and I was like, ain't nobody stressing. We're not going to stress because we are building champions here. We're building champions, and champions are aware of their actions, and they think, and they're making decisions, and they are responsible for their decisions, and they feel empowered to change it. Okay, so give it to them, give it back to them, and then you have to turn around and get back to what you was doing. Get back to chilling. Get back to washing the dishes. Get back to cooking. Get back to whatever. But let them think by themselves. Do I really want to keep this up? Do I really want to keep playing around? Do I really want to miss out on my playtime later? You know, let them think. And what I noticed after working with kids for years, and I'm a mom too. I have a 18-year-old and an 8-year-old. Yes, we have them 10 years apart. What I've noticed is I love this part right here, where you minding your business, you back to work, and that's their business, and you can see them out the corner of your eye thinking, "Oh, it's beautiful." Like I said earlier, the problem is that we're too close. We're too close trying to manage them all the time, trying to stop their behavior all the time, that we do not give them space to think. They think. All kids go through it. All kids do it. I worked as a mental health specialist at UMDJ in Newark, New Jersey. And when kids had to be removed from the group room because they were throwing tantrums and trying to throw chairs and screaming, we had to pull them out and bring them in another room where they couldn't hurt themselves or anybody else. And I used to let them calm down. I didn't go and I didn't start talking to them. I used to let them calm down. And I would say, well, I'm ready. I'm over here. I'm ready to talk. When you're ready to come talk to me, I'm here. And then I would do a crossword puzzle. I would do whatever. And then I would see them stop yelling, stop screaming, start to calm down, look out the window, watch the cars drive by, think. I would watch all this. I'll be in here doing whatever, but I would be watching the whole thing. Did you hear it? I'm ready to talk. And then I'd say, all right, come sit down. And then we process the whole thing out. But during that time, they processed their feelings out. They thought about, talked about the choices they made, why they made the choices, what they should have done instead, what they need to do now, what their consequences. It's always going to be a consequence. It's always going to be a consequence, right? But every time they came back to that room after that whole thing and they cleaned up, the mess they made, and they apologized. I would just tell them, don't pick up that chair. When he come back, he gonna pick it up. We're not cleaning up after them either. Every time they had to be moved after that, it was less and less intense, and it took them less time to calm down. Don't try to control. Don't try to stop their behavior. This is natural. This is the natural process. It take them less time to calm down. And after a while, they don't need to be pulled out of the group anymore. This is the same thing that will happen in your home. It's the same thing that will happen in your classroom. The behavior that's stressing you out every day and holding your child back every day and disrupting your classes every day, teachers, will go through the same process. Stop trying to manage and control their behavior. Give them ownership. Ask them questions. Help them reach conclusions. Help them think and figure out what they really want to do. Is it worth it? When they're mad, when they're trying to avoid doing their work, and when they're in the cycle, and when they make decisions to do this every day, they're not thinking about the whole picture. Give them that, and don't say nothing. Let them take ownership. And the biggest transformations come from kids who feel empowered to make these decisions, and they know they have grown. They're growing and they're getting better and they want to get better. There's not a child out here with behavior problems who does not want to get better. It's not. There's no child that has ever changed their behavior and started doing better that does not feel so good about themselves. At the time, they don't think it's possible. That's why they act that way. But I'm telling you, it will happen. All right? So, thank you so much for your time today, everyone. Hashtag replay on this. All right? Because we are changing the game here. We're raising champions and we are going to the top. You hear me? All right? Believe in yourself, believe in your child, honey. Always remember that growth is unlimited and we got this.